The first warning came at 2:17 a.m. London time. Commander Rian Hale was half asleep at his desk in the Project Horizon control room. The night shift was quiet. Only a few screens showed slow-moving data from satellites. Coffee was cold. The air hummed with the sound of machines. Then every screen in the room turned black. The lights flickered. The air felt heavy like before a storm. Rian sat up straight. "What the?" he whispered. A white symbol appeared on the main monitor. It was not any human language. It was a circle with 3 lines through it, glowing like burning metal. For 1 second it was silent. Then a voice spoke. It was not male or female, not young or old. It was strange and calm but clear, like it spoke inside every person's head. "Do not enter the border of the Galactic Empire. This is Earth's final warning." Ryan's heart jumped. He looked at his team. "Is this a test?" he asked, but his people were already moving. Fingers flew over keyboards. Alarms started to beep. "Sir, this is on all frequencies," said Mira, the communication officer. "Radio, TV, internet, even closed military lines." "That's impossible," Rian said. "Cut it, block it." "We're trying," she answered, panic in her voice. "But the signal is not coming through our network. It's just there." The voice repeated the message word for word. Outside the base, car alarms started to blare. Phones lit up. In apartments, houses, and cars all around the world, the same symbol and the same voice appeared. Every human could understand it. No one knew how. On the other side of the planet, a 6-year-old boy in Pakistan watched in shock as his cartoon disappeared and the white circle appeared. His grandmother ran to the TV and tried to change the channel. Every channel showed the same thing. In Brazil, a taxi driver slammed on his brakes when the dashboard screen flashed white and the voice spoke inside his head. In Tokyo, thousands of people stopped in the middle of crossing the road. Giant screens on skyscrapers showed the symbol. Traffic froze. People looked up, eyes wide and scared. The world shared one moment, fear. Inside Project Horizon, the room was alive now. Lines of data scrolled across the walls. The base, hidden under a mountain, was the most secret project on Earth. For years they had watched the stars, searching for signs of alien life. Tonight the stars answered. "Source?" Rian asked. "Where is it coming from?" "Everywhere," said Dr. Lyon, the lead scientist. Her dark eyes were locked on the code. "It's not a normal broadcast. It's like the message is printed directly into the signal noise." "In English," Rian said. Lyon shook her head. "No, the code is not English. Not any human language, but somehow we all hear it in our own language. Real-time translation, some kind of telepathic overlay maybe." Rian stared at the symbol. "Do not enter the border of the Galactic Empire. This is Earth's final warning." "Final," he muttered. "That means there was a first warning." Mira looked up. "Maybe there was, maybe we missed it." Before he could answer, another alarm rang. This one was deeper, more urgent. Red lights flashed along the walls. "Unknown object detected," shouted Jonas from the sensor station. "Far side of the solar system, high energy output, it just appeared." "Just appeared?" Rian snapped. "Objects don't just appear." "This one did," Jonas said. "No approach path, no slow entry. 1 second space was empty. Next second it's there. Distance, 50 astronomical units enclosing." "Speed?" Rian asked. Jonas stared at his screen. "You don't want to know? Tell me anyway." "It will reach the orbit of Neptune in less than 2 hours, Jonas said quietly. "If it keeps going at this speed, it reaches Earth orbit in 12 hours. The room fell silent. The voice spoke again. "Do not enter the border of the Galactic Empire. This is Earth's final warning." Rian felt a cold weight in his chest. This was no test. This was real. News spread like fire. Social media crashed under the weight of panic. Governments called emergency meetings. Religious leaders prayed on live TV. Some people cried, some laughed. Some went outside and just stared at the sky as if they could see something coming. In one small apartment, a young woman recorded herself on her phone. "If this is fake, it's the best hack ever," she said. "If it's real, then we are not alone, and someone out there thinks we are in danger." Her video was shared millions of times in minutes, but no one could stop the object that was already on its way. Back in Project Horizon, Rian stood in front of the world map on the screen. Red markers showed the locations of every deep space sensor, every satellite, every ground station. All of them were picking up the same unknown object. "Has any other country confirmed?" Rian asked. Mira nodded. "Yes, sir. Russia, China, India, ESA, everyone sees it. They're calling it an anomalous craft. They're asking if we are doing this." "We're not," Rian said. "Tell them that." Dr. Lyon pressed a key. The symbol on the main screen zoomed in. It was simple but perfect. No rough edges, no pixels, like it was drawn by a machine that understood math better than humans ever could. "There is a pattern in the light of the symbol," she said. "A code inside the code." "Can you read it?" Rian asked. "Not yet," she said, "but it looks like coordinates. maybe a borderline. The border of the Galactic Empire, Rian said slowly. The words tasted strange, Galactic Empire, as if someone had taken a sci-fi story and ripped it into reality. He walked closer to the screen, his reflection floating over the glowing circle. "Why warn us?" he said softly. "Why now?" The answer came in the form of a new message. The symbol flickered. The circle grew brighter until the whole room glowed white. The air felt thick, heavy, like gravity had increased. Everyone shielded their eyes. Then the voice spoke again, but this time it was different. It sounded closer, more urgent. "Humans of Earth, you stand at the edge of a protected zone. Beyond your moon lies the border of the Galactic Empire. You are not permitted to cross. Do not send ships. Do not send probes. This is your final warning." Mira whispered, "They know about our probes." Ryan's heart sank. Project Horizon had launched a secret fleet of small, fast probes months earlier. Their mission, leave the solar system and send back data from deep space. One of those probes was due to cross the orbit of Pluto tonight. Ryan turned sharply. "Jonas, where is Horizon 9? Jonas typed fast. "Checking now, sir. It crossed Pluto's orbit 13 minutes ago. It's outside the Kuiper belt. It's heading toward interstellar space." "Can we call it back?" Ryan asked. "Not fast enough," Jonas said. "Even if we send a signal now, it will take hours to reach it." Ryan looked at Dr. Lyon. She already understood. "The warning is about Horizon 9, she said. "We crossed their border." Before Ryan could respond, every screen flashed red. New data flooded in. "The object just changed course," Jonas shouted. "It's no longer moving in a straight line. It is turning toward Horizon 9. "How far is it from the probe?" Ryan asked. "Far now," Jonas said, "but it will reach it in minutes at that speed." "Show me," Ryan said. A new screen opened, showing a small dot labeled H9 and a large, rapidly moving marker coming from behind. "Enlarge," Ryan ordered. The camera feed from Horizon 9 was grainy but clear enough. Stars drifted slowly past. Then on the right side of the screen, a bright light appeared. It grew larger, like a star being born. The light split into 3 lines, forming the same circle symbol. Then the camera went dead. Connection lost. Jonas swallowed. "Probe destroyed, sir." The voice returned, this time colder. "You have broken the rule. Do not test the border again. This is your final warning." Ryan felt the whole room stop breathing for a second. Across the world, Horizon 9 loss appeared on civilian telescopes too. Amateur astronomers saw a brief flare in the dark, then nothing. Scientists argued on TV. Some said it was just a malfunction, others were not so sure. In the streets, some people shouted that it was a sign of the end times. Others said it was a new beginning, but no one could ignore it. Something had reached out and touched human technology far beyond the reach of human hands. In Project Horizon, the first shock started to fade. Now came the questions. Why call it a protected zone? Dr. Lyon asked quietly. Protected from what? They're not attacking Earth. Mira said, they only destroyed the probe. They could have destroyed our satellites too, but they didn't. Ryan walked slowly around the room, listening to his team argue and speculate. His mind was racing. The Empire had rules, borders, a warning, a punishment. It sounded like a government. A huge, powerful one, but there was something else in the voice. Not anger, not hate, fear. They're afraid of something, Ryan said aloud. The room went quiet. Mira frowned. Sir, think about it, Ryan said. If they control this galactic empire, they must have technology beyond our imagination. They just erased our probe like it was dust. They can talk in every human mind at the same time, but they don't want us to step outside our own system. Why? Dr. Lyon's eyes narrowed. Because outside is dangerous, more dangerous than us. Exactly, Ryan said. They're warning us not because they care about our laws. They care about whatever is out there. Jonas said, so we're what? Children playing near a war zone. Maybe, Ryan said. On the main screen, the object continued to move fast, now slowing as it approached the outer planets. It was like a hunter who had swatted one fly and now watched the nest. Ryan felt something he had not felt in years. Not pride, not duty, helplessness. Later that night, Ryan stood alone on the observation deck high above the base. The mountain air was cold and thin. The sky was clear, full of stars. Once he had looked at those stars with hope. Humanity was finally ready to reach them. Ships were in development. Probes were already leaving the solar system. People dreamed of colonies, new worlds, new suns. Now those stars felt like eyes watching him. He thought about the words again. Galactic Empire, protected zone, final warning. If there was a border, who drew it? How many other worlds were inside? How many were outside? And what had happened to them? Behind him, the door opened. Dr. Lyon stepped out, her coat wrapped tight around her. You should be sleeping, she said. So should you, Ryan answered. They stood side by side, looking up at the same sky. I decoded part of the light pattern, Lyon said. Ryan turned to her. And it confirms what we guessed, she said. The circle symbol is not just a logo, it is a map. The 3 lines are routes, the empty space is us, a small, quiet zone in the middle. In the middle of what? He asked. She hesitated. In the middle of a conflict zone, a region that has seen many wars, a place that is attractive to something they fear. Rian felt the cold deepen. So we're not just near danger, he said softly. We are the danger. To someone else maybe, Lion said. But to the Empire we're just fragile, easy to break. They both looked up again. The stars did not answer. Far beyond what any human eye could see, the giant object continued its silent path inward. It did not shine like a normal ship. It bent light around itself. Space rippled at its edges. On its hull, the white circle symbol burned, marking it as a guardian of an unseen empire. Inside it, minds older than Earth watched a small blue planet and argued. Was this species worth saving? Could they obey? Or would they bring the ancient enemy to the Empire's door once again? The Watchers sent one more message toward Earth, one that no human receiver could catch yet, a simple sentence. Observe them closely. Their choice will decide more than they know. Back on Earth, the night passed. The sun rose. News anchors tried to sound calm. World leaders gave speeches about unity and peace. But under the mountain, in the heart of Project Horizon, Commander Rian Hale looked at the countdown on the screen. Time until the alien object reached Earth orbit. 11 hours, 32 minutes. The first warning had been delivered. What came next would change humanity forever. The world had barely slept. The memory of the final warning burned in every human mind. Every screen, every device, every broadcast reminded them of the words that had shaken the planet. Do not enter the border of the Galactic Empire. This is Earth's final warning. Commander Rian Hale sat in Project Horizon's control room, the rising sun casting long shadows across the desks and monitors. The object from deep space had slowed its approach, now hovering at the outer edge of the solar system. It was massive, larger than any ship humanity had ever built, yet sleek and almost organic in shape. Its hull shimmered with a metallic blue light, as if it absorbed the sunlight and reflected it in patterns humans could barely understand. Rian pressed a button and zoomed in on the monitor. The object appeared almost alive. Lines of energy ran along its surface, pulsing rhythmically like a heartbeat. A low hum vibrated through the room. The team felt it as much as they heard it. This is no normal spacecraft, Dr. Lion said, her voice trembling slightly. This is something else, something intelligent. Mira, the communications officer, leaned closer to her console. It's scanning us, she said. Every probe, every satellite, every signal we've sent, it knows everything, and it's watching. Ryan's fingers hovered over the console, unsure if he should speak or stay silent. He had seen strange objects before in simulations and telescope readings, but nothing like this. Nothing that made a planet feel so small, so fragile. Suddenly, the hum deepened. The air thickened. The room's lights flickered, and then a projection appeared in the middle of the control room. A three-dimensional figure floated above the table, a humanoid, yet taller than any human, with glowing blue skin and eyes that seemed to pierce through thought itself. Its presence was calm but commanding. Rian swallowed hard. What are you?" he asked. The figure's voice filled the room, not through speakers but directly in the mind of every human present. It was the same calm, precise voice from the warning. Only this time it carried more authority, more weight. "Humans of Earth, I am Envoy Tharian of the Galactic Empire. You have been observed for centuries. Your civilization has grown, evolved, and reached a point where you might interfere with events beyond your understanding. You are now officially within the Empire's observation zone. You are not permitted to leave your planet's orbit. Any attempt to breach this rule will result in immediate action." Rian felt a chill. "Observation zone, they're calling Earth hours to observe." Dr. Lion shook her head. "No, they're not claiming it. They're warning us. They don't want us to leave. That's unusual." Envoy Tharian's hologram stepped closer. "This is not a threat, Commander Rian Hale. The Empire does not intend to harm your species yet, but there is a danger you cannot perceive. Outside your system lies a force that devours all in its path. Entire stars, entire civilizations gone." Ryan's breath caught. "Devours stars?" "Yes," Tharian said. "A species known as the Voidborn. They consume energy without limit. They recognize intelligent life only as resources. Your world lies near their path of expansion. It is fortunate that your planet exists where it does, and it is fortunate that the Empire has declared this sector off-limits." Mira stepped forward, anger flashing in her eyes. "You destroyed our probe. You could have destroyed Earth itself. And you call this fortunate?" Tharian's eyes glowed brighter. "Destruction is unnecessary if knowledge is gained. Horizon 9 broke the rules. Your species may be impulsive, but it is not yet reckless. Consider this a test. Compliance is survival. Defiance is costly." Rian clenched his fists. "How many worlds have already fallen to the Voidborn?" Entire galaxies, Tharian said calmly. Some civilizations we could not save, some we chose to protect. Your world is unique, fragile, yes, but resilient in ways even we do not fully understand. The room fell silent. Ryan's mind raced. Resilient in ways they do not understand, that sounded like hope, but it was mixed with warning, fear, and authority. Why warn us? Ryan asked. Why not destroy Horizon 9 and leave? Because, Tharian replied, your species might have a role, one not yet revealed. But that role requires survival, obedience, observation, learning. Ryan looked at his team. Mira's face was pale. Dr. Lyon's eyes burned with thought. Jonas, the sensor specialist, was frozen at his console, staring at the holographic projection. They all understood the same thing. Humanity was now part of a cosmic game, one they had only just glimpsed. Across the globe, the news of first contact spread. Televised announcements interrupted programs in every time zone. Governments declared emergency states, but the public was already in panic. Social media buzzed with speculation. Some believed Earth had been chosen for protection. Others claimed it was now a target. Conspiracy theories multiplied faster than the authorities could respond. Videos circulated showing distorted images of the object in space, some claiming it hovered over major cities. False alarms. Yet fear turned them real in the minds of viewers. In Tokyo, a journalist stood before a live camera. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, voice shaking slightly, we have just received information from multiple independent sources. An unknown craft of immense size has entered our solar system. It appears intelligent, and we have reason to believe it belongs to an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. They call themselves the Galactic Empire, and they have declared Earth off-limits. The camera cut to footage of massive blue lines glowing in space, pulsing like energy veins. Experts warn, the journalist continued, that any unauthorized action beyond Earth's orbit could have catastrophic consequences. In homes worldwide, people paused, stared at their screens, and felt the weight of those words. Catastrophe, off-limits, Galactic Empire. Meanwhile, Project Horizon worked tirelessly. Ryan called a meeting with top scientists, military advisors, and world leaders via secure channels. Let me be clear, Ryan began, voice firm. This is not a drill. Horizon 9 is gone. The object that destroyed it is still out there observing us. We have confirmation, and now we know why the final warning exists. We are near something bigger than anything we imagined. One general spoke up. Sir, if this empire is telling the truth, we can't send anything beyond the moon, not even our satellites, not even probes. Should we obey? Ryan shook his head slowly. Obedience might save our lives, but inaction may also cost us knowledge. We don't know what the Empire fears, but they fear something, and that something is approaching. Dr. Lyon pointed to a digital map on the wall. I've been decoding the symbols. The circle and 3 lines, it's a star map. One line shows our path, the second shows a barrier, and the third shows something moving toward the barrier, something massive. Ryan's eyes widened. Something massive? How massive? Larger than Earth, Lyon said, potentially hundreds of times larger. Energy readings off the charts. If it reaches us, it won't just destroy a planet, it could destroy a system. A heavy silence fell. The words echoed in Ryan's mind. Potentially hundreds of times larger, destroy a system. You're saying Horizon 9 was a warning, Ryan said. A test, not just of us, but of our ability to survive. Exactly, Lyon replied. The Empire may not be benevolent, but they are careful, and we are lucky they have rules. Ryan paced the room. Then we must follow the rules for now, but we cannot ignore this threat. We need more information, and we need to prepare in case the rules fail. As the hours passed, the massive object stopped near Neptune's orbit. It did not move further, but the glow along its surface pulsed slowly like a living being. Every satellite, telescope, and probe in its range began to act strangely. Signals distorted, images warped, even atomic clocks began to drift. Ryan stood at the observation deck of Project Horizon, staring through reinforced glass at the stars. It's waiting, he whispered. It's waiting for us to make a mistake. Lyon joined him, holding a tablet with readings she could barely interpret. It's studying us, every move, every reaction. I don't think it's just monitoring Earth, it's learning humanity. Ryan nodded. And if it learns too much, what then? Lyon shook her head. We can only hope we survive the lesson. By mid-afternoon, the world had calmed outwardly, but fear lingered beneath the surface. Economies faltered. Governments enforced curfews. Space agencies grounded all missions. Humanity realized collectively that their reach had limits. The sky was no longer a place of adventure, it was a warning. Yet in the darkest corners of the internet, a few voices whispered rebellion. Why obey? They asked. We are human, we explore, we survive. If the Empire fears us, then maybe we should test them. Rian saw these voices as dangerous. They represented everything the Empire had warned against. One impulsive move, one unauthorized probe, and humanity could trigger a disaster far beyond imagination. He returned to his desk, opened a new secure channel, and began typing. "We need a plan," he said to his team. "A plan to understand them, to survive, and maybe, just maybe, a way to prove we deserve to exist." Jonas glanced at the screen. "You think they'll respond?" "They have responded already," Rian said, "twice. The question now is whether we can survive what comes next." That night, when the lights in Project Horizon dimmed, the object in space pulsed brighter than ever. From the outer planets, its glow stretched like a river of electricity across the dark. And from deep within, an unseen voice, ancient and vast, whispered, "The humans are curious. They may be more than fragile. They may be interesting." The stars seemed to lean closer. The Empire's message had been delivered. But the first true test of humanity had only just begun. For Rian Hale, the night was long, filled with questions that had no answers. Yet one truth burned in his mind: Earth was no longer alone. And the galaxy was watching. The following morning, the world awoke to a fragile calm. Earth's skies were the same shade of blue, clouds drifted lazily across the horizon, and birds chirped in the sunlight. Yet beneath this peaceful veneer, humanity held its breath. The memory of the Empire's warning lingered like a shadow in every mind. "Do not enter the border of the Galactic Empire. This is Earth's final warning." Commander Rian Hale sat in Project Horizon's central command room, staring at the readings from the massive object near Neptune. Its pulsing light had not changed. It had not moved closer. And yet the sensors showed something new, energy fluctuations unlike anything seen before. Dr. Lyon leaned over the console, her eyes scanning the numbers. "Rian, you need to see this." He walked over. The screen displayed a web of energy currents stretching across the solar system. They were subtle at first, almost invisible, but then the patterns became clear. Something massive, something intelligent was moving, not from the Empire's object, but toward the solar system. "What is it?" Rian asked. Lyon swallowed hard. "I think it's the enemy the Empire warned us about. They call them the Voidborn." Ryan's pulse quickened. "Voidborn, what are they?" "They're a species unlike anything humanity has imagined," Lyon said. "They consume energy, stars, planets, civilizations. Nothing survives them. The Empire calls them a cosmic plague. Entire systems vanish in their path." Mira, standing nearby, shook her head. "You're saying this threat is bigger than the Empire?" "In a way, yes," Lyon said. "The Empire fears them. They've lost entire galaxies to the Voidborn. And now, our solar system is in their path." Rian felt a chill crawl up his spine. Horizon 9 had been destroyed by the Empire as a warning, but now with the Voidborn approaching, it became clear that the Empire's object had another purpose: to protect Earth. Across the world, governments convened in emergency sessions. In the United States, the president addressed the nation. "My fellow citizens," she said, voice steady but tense, "we face a threat unlike any in human history. An advanced civilization, the Galactic Empire, has declared our planet off-limits. They have warned us that crossing certain boundaries could be catastrophic. We do not fully understand the extent of the danger, but we know enough to act cautiously. We must obey their warning until we understand more, and we must prepare for the unknown." The words were meant to reassure, but instead they sowed fear. Humanity had obeyed one warning, but what if another came, one they could not survive? In the depths of Project Horizon, the team worked feverishly. The object near Neptune remained stationary, but now its sensors detected multiple incoming vessels, smaller, faster than anything human technology could produce. "They are scouts," Jonas said. "Not Empire ships, something else." Rian frowned. "Can you identify them?" Jonas shook his head. "No, they don't emit signals like we know. They bend light. Hide from radar. I can't track their trajectory precisely, but they're moving in formation, heading toward Jupiter and the asteroid belt." Dr. Lyon's fingers flew across her keyboard. "I've cross-referenced historical data from other civilizations the Empire has encountered. The Voidborn scout ships look exactly like this. Tiny, fast, impossible to detect, and deadly." Ryan's jaw tightened. "They're close." "They're closer than we think," Lyon said. "Energy readings suggest they're adapting. Their speed is increasing. If they reach the inner planets, we're in serious trouble." Mira's voice was low. "And the Empire, they're just watching us." "Not watching," Rian said, "protecting. They're keeping us alive long enough to see if we can survive, or at least give us a chance to act." By nightfall, reports flooded in from amateur astronomers worldwide. Strange energy flares danced in the outer solar system, near Jupiter and Saturn. Satellites detected anomalies, but no one could explain them. In Brazil, a young astronomer named Lucas recorded a series of images showing tiny, shadowy ships weaving between asteroids. He sent them to Project Horizon. "They're scouts," Rian said grimly as he studied the images, "and they're heading inward, fast." Dr. Lion tapped her tablet furiously. "The Empire's object, it's forming a shield around the outer planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, all of them are inside a protective energy field. It's subtle, but it's there. The Empire is trying to slow them down." Rian leaned back in his chair. "Then the Empire isn't just warning us. They're fighting for us in a way we can't even see." Mira's face was pale. "But if these scouts reach the inner planets, what then?" Rian didn't answer. He didn't want to admit it even to himself. Humanity was fragile. Technology was primitive compared to the Empire or the Voidborn. And yet, survival depended on something humans had never tested before: courage, ingenuity, adaptability. Meanwhile, the world's militaries quietly prepared. Space programs were suspended for safety, but underground facilities worked around the clock, building ships, weapons, and defenses, mostly experimental, most of them untested. Rian visited one such facility in Nevada. Engineers showed him a prototype vessel capable of traveling faster than anything humans had ever built. It was small, sleek, and heavily armed, but nowhere near enough to fight the Voidborn. "Why are you showing me this?" Rian asked. "We have to try something," one engineer said. "Even if it's a long shot, even if it fails, we need a plan." Rian nodded, understanding. Survival sometimes required risk. Sometimes risk was the only choice. Back at Project Horizon, the team discovered something alarming. Energy readings from the Voidborn scouts were changing. They were no longer random. The scouts were learning from their environment, adapting to gravity, radiation, even solar flares. "They're evolving," Lion said. "This is not just a threat. It's intelligence, and it's faster than we are." Rian's mind raced. Humanity had always relied on tools, weapons, and technology, but they had never faced something that could adapt faster than their own machines. Mira glanced at him nervously. "Commander, if they learn too fast," Rian shook his head, "then we'll have to learn faster." He thought of the Empire's warning again. They had destroyed Horizon 9 not to punish, but to teach, to show that every action mattered. Humanity had crossed a boundary, and now they were being tested, not just by the Empire, but by something far older and hungrier. In the dead of night, Rian could not sleep. He walked along the observation deck, staring at the outer planets. The stars were cold and distant, but between Jupiter and Saturn he saw it, a faint shimmer moving too fast for the naked eye. A tiny scout ship, barely larger than a human satellite, but filled with intelligence that could outthink entire fleets. "They're coming," he whispered. Lion appeared beside him. "Yes, and if the Empire doesn't intervene, they'll reach Earth in days." Rian clenched his fists. "Then we fight. We do whatever it takes, not because we want to, but because we must. Humanity survives, or we die trying." Over the next few days, tension escalated worldwide. Governments restricted space traffic. Civilian satellites were grounded. Scientists worked in shifts, analyzing every particle of data. Meanwhile, the Voidborn scouts approached relentlessly, adapting, learning, and testing every obstacle. Rian realized that survival would not come from power. It would come from creativity. From thinking like the Voidborn, predicting its moves, understanding its motives. Humanity had never faced such a predator, but humans were not easily cornered. At Project Horizon, the team devised a bold plan. If the Empire would not intervene directly, they would use the Empire's energy field around the outer planets as a trap. The scouts could be lured, manipulated, and slowed, but the risk was enormous. One mistake and Earth itself could be consumed. Jonas stared at the simulations. "It's risky, too risky." Rian's eyes burned with determination. "Then we have no choice. If the Empire is watching, then they want us to learn. Then we fight smart, not strong. Humanity survives not by weapons, but by strategy." Dr. Lion looked at him, admiration mixed with fear. "You realize if this fails, it's the end." Rian nodded. "I know. But if it succeeds, we prove we belong in the galaxy." The first scout ship reached Saturn's orbit. Its shadow stretched across the planet, black and impossible. Sensors showed energy fields bending around it. Every attempt to jam or intercept it failed. Rian stood over the monitor. "Remember," he said to his team, voice steady. "We adapt, we think faster, we survive. The Empire may protect us, but in the end, this is our fight." Mira's fingers flew across the keyboard. "We're ready, sir." Rian looked at the stars, feeling both awe and fear. The Empire had warned them. The Voidborn had arrived. Humanity's role was no longer observation, it was action. "The universe is bigger than we know," Rian whispered, "and survival is just the beginning." End of Part 3. Cliffhanger. In the darkness beyond Neptune, a fleet of Voidborn scouts paused. One of them emitted a pulse, a signal. A pulse that stretched across millions of kilometers. A pulse that said something only the Empire understood. "They are clever, but are they ready?" The stars pulsed, the Empire's shield shimmered, and humanity prepared for a battle they did not fully understand. The world had changed in subtle ways, almost invisible to the naked eye. Streets were filled with whispers of rebellion, of courage, and of fear. Humanity had obeyed the Empire's warning for weeks, keeping ships and satellites grounded, limiting communication with space. Yet curiosity gnawed at the edges of every mind, like a persistent shadow no one could ignore. Commander Rian Hale sat at Project Horizon, staring at the outer planets on his monitor. The Empire's object hovered like a guardian, pulsing a steady, hypnotic rhythm. Its presence was both reassuring and terrifying. It was clear now. The Empire had kept Earth safe from the Voidborn scouts, slowing their approach with energy shields stretched across the outer planets. Without those shields, the scouts would have reached Mars within days, Jupiter within a week. But as Rian watched, the monitors lit up with a new alert. A human-made signal had been detected beyond the moon. Mira gasped. That's impossible. All launches were grounded. Dr. Lyon's eyes widened. It's not a probe, multiple signals, ships smaller but faster than anything Earth has officially built. Ryan's heart sank. Someone broke the rules. Half a world away, a secret military faction had been planning this for months. Known as the Vanguard Initiative, they believed humanity could not survive by obeying rules, even if those rules came from an advanced civilization. They had developed stealth ships fast, agile, equipped with experimental engines capable of crossing the lunar orbit in minutes. Captain Alina Voss, the leader of the initiative, watched the main display aboard the flagship Aegis. "The Empire believes we'll stay put," she said, voice firm. "They've underestimated us. Humanity adapts, survives, and sometimes we defy." Her ships launched quietly under the cover of darkness, weaving between satellites and debris. The moon's orbit glimmered with the trail of engines no one could trace. For the first time in history, humans had crossed the threshold that no species before had dared touch. Back at Project Horizon, Ryan's console showed multiple blips moving beyond the moon. Panic rose in the room. Sir Jonas said, voice tight, "They're human, they've broken the off-limits rule. The Empire, they're watching." Before Ryan could respond, the lights flickered. The pulsing hum of the Empire's object intensified, vibrating through the building. The holographic projection of Envoy Tharian appeared in the center of the room, larger than before, glowing with authority. "Humans of Earth," Tharian's voice boomed, echoing in their minds, "you have violated the border. This is unacceptable. You risk not only your survival but the stability of your solar system. Halt all activity immediately." Mira's hands trembled. "They're angry, Ryan. They could destroy those ships." Ryan's face was set, determined. "They could, but they haven't. They want to teach, not punish. Yet, we have to act smart. We need to understand why these ships launched. Who gave the order, and what are they hoping to accomplish?" Dr. Lyon studied the energy pulses from the Empire's object. The shield around the outer planets, it's shifting. They're creating a corridor, a narrow path. It's as if they're letting the ships go, but only in a controlled way. They're testing us again. In orbit around the moon, Captain Alina Voss's fleet pushed forward. The ships glided through the Empire's corridor, almost like moving through a tunnel of light. Sensors picked up the Empire's subtle adjustments, gently nudging the ships away from the edges of the shield. "This is incredible," Voss said over comms. "They're letting us go, but not completely free. They're guiding us like a parent teaching a child." One of her lieutenants frowned, or like a predator herding prey into a trap. Voss ignored the comment, focusing on the mission. Humanity's first step beyond the moon was a statement: we will not remain passive. We will learn, adapt, survive. Back on Earth, news leaked about the Vanguard Initiative's secret operation. Governments were furious, but they could not stop the story from spreading. Social media erupted with debates. Some celebrated humanity's boldness, calling it proof of courage and independence. Others condemned it as reckless, threatening the very survival of the planet. Ryan and his team monitored the situation closely. He knew the Empire's patience had limits. The slightest misstep could turn guidance into annihilation. Suddenly, the monitors blared. Voidborn scouts previously stalled at Saturn had altered their trajectory. They were moving toward the human fleet. "They're faster than expected," Jonas said, panic creeping into his voice. "They've adapted again. If the fleet isn't careful," Ryan clenched his fists. "We'll be ready. The Empire may shield us, but we need to fight smart. Every move counts." In space, Vanguard ships approached the edge of Jupiter's orbit. The scouts swarmed, black silhouettes against the gas giant, moving with unnatural precision. They were faster than anything humans had built, adapting mid-flight to avoid the ship's experimental weapons. Captain Voss barked orders: evasive maneuvers, target the lead scout. Blaster beams flashed, but the scout dodged with ease. Its movements were not random, they were intelligent, predictive. Every attack the humans tried, the scout avoided. "Sir," one lieutenant shouted, "they're learning from us. Every action we take, they adjust." Voss's jaw tightened, "Then we make them learn our plan." Meanwhile, Project Horizon analyzed the energy shields around the outer planets. Rian realized the Empire was not only defending Earth, they were training humanity. Every maneuver, every evasion by the fleet was a lesson. "They want us to survive," he said aloud. "But they want us to think, adapt, predict, outwit. The Voidborn aren't just dangerous, they're a test." Dr. Lyon nodded, "And we have to pass it. If humanity fails, the Empire will intervene or worse, abandon us." On Jupiter's orbit, the battle intensified. The Voidborn scouts moved with terrifying coordination, forming a shadowy net around the human ships. One scout emitted a pulse, a wave of energy that scrambled instruments, disrupted shields, and forced the fleet to scatter. Captain Voss gritted her teeth. "Hold formation. We survive together or not at all." The fleet darted through asteroid fields, weaving past Jupiter's radiation belts, dodging pulses, adapting, improvising. Every second was a dance with death. Back on Earth, Rian and his team calculated trajectories, giving guidance, predicting scout behavior, offering suggestions to the fleet. It was humanity's first coordinated fight against a cosmic predator. Hours passed. Ships were damaged, systems failing, but the fleet survived. They reached the outer edge of Saturn's orbit where the Empire's shield was strongest. The scouts hesitated at the barrier, confused, unable to cross. Voss's voice crackled through comms. "We made it, the barrier is holding, they can't follow." Rian allowed himself a small nod. Not free yet, but they survived and they learned. The Empire's object pulsed, a rhythmic reminder of its presence. Envoy Tharian appeared in the minds of Project Horizon's team once more. "You have crossed the border," Tharian said. "You have shown initiative, but you must understand the Voidborn will not wait. Your species is fragile, every action has consequence. Your survival depends on intelligence, not strength. Adapt or perish." Rian felt the weight of those words. Humanity had tested its courage, defied the rules, and survived, but the real challenge was only beginning. That night, as Earth rotated beneath him, Rian walked on the observation deck, staring at the stars. The sky felt alive, pulsing with danger and opportunity. Dr. Lyon joined him, holding a tablet filled with new data. "The scouts are learning from us. Every maneuver, every attack, it shapes them. We might be teaching them too much." Rian nodded. "Or maybe we're teaching ourselves. Humanity survives not by rules, but by adaptability. Ingenuity, strategy. That's what the Empire is counting on." Mira stood nearby, frowning. "Do you think the Empire will step in directly?" Rian shook his head. "Not yet, they want to see how far we can go, but every step we take, the Voidborn get closer. The line between survival and extinction is thinner than ever." Across the galaxy, the Voidborn scouts observed, calculated, and adapted. They were not mindless predators. They were learning, evolving with terrifying speed. "These humans are clever," a thought echoed in the Voidborn's consciousness. "They may be more than fragile, but are they ready for what comes next?" The pulse of energy from the scouts rippled outward, reaching the very edge of the solar system. Every human ship, every satellite, every probe felt it like a cold wind brushing across the surface of the planet. Earth had broken the rules. Humanity had acted on its own, and the Empire had allowed it. But the real test was coming. End of Part 4 cliffhanger. The Empire's object pulsed brighter than ever. Energy ripples spread across Saturn, Jupiter, and Uranus. Beyond the outer planets, shadows moved, hundreds of scout ships, each one smarter, faster, deadlier. Commander Rian Hale stared at the display. A single thought burned in his mind: the Voidborn are coming. And this time, Earth will have no shield to hide behind. The solar system trembled under an unseen weight. From the outer edges, shadows moved like waves of darkness. Hundreds of Voidborn scouts, faster and smarter than anything humanity had ever faced, approached the inner planets. Their energy pulses bent light, disrupted instruments, and left chaos in their wake. Even the Empire's object, once a calm guardian, pulsed with urgency, its light racing along the outer planets like a living pulse. Commander Rian Hale stood at Project Horizon, eyes locked on the holographic display. Beside him, Dr. Lyon and Mira worked frantically, monitoring fleet positions, scout movements, and energy readings. Every calculation mattered. One wrong prediction could mean the annihilation of Earth. "They're moving faster than before," Jonas said from his console. "Every attempt to predict their path becomes less reliable. They adapt instantly to new maneuvers. Every time we calculate a route, they learn it." Rian rubbed his temples. "Then we stop predicting. We improvise. We force them to react to us." Dr. Lyon stared at him. "Improvisation with stakes this high? That's dangerous, Rian." He nodded. "I know. But if we follow their pattern, we die. We need to make our own pattern, humanity's pattern. That's our advantage." Far beyond Saturn, Captain Alina Voss and the Vanguard fleet prepared their formation. The human ships had survived the initial encounter, but barely. Hulls were scorched, engines strained, and morale was tested. Yet in their survival lay confidence, a belief that humanity could rise to the challenge. "This is it," Voss said, voice steady. "We fight not because we want to, but because we must. Remember, every move counts. The Voidborn scouts are learning, adapting, but we're still faster in thinking, faster in improvisation. Use that." Her lieutenants nodded. Weapons primed, shields raised, engines humming at maximum capacity, the fleet began its advance toward the inner solar system. Back on Earth, the Empire's object pulsed with intensity. Envoy Tharian appeared in Project Horizon, larger and more imposing than ever. "Humans of Earth," Tharian's voice echoed in every mind in the room. "The Voidborn advance. Your species has demonstrated courage and adaptability. Now is the final test. You may act, but know this: failure will bring consequences beyond imagination. Align with us or face extinction." Rian swallowed. "Align? They mean fight with them?" "Yes," Tharian replied. "The Empire protects, observes, and sometimes intervenes. Today, humanity will fight alongside the galaxy's oldest defenders. Learn quickly, survive, or perish." Dr. Lyon's fingers flew across the keyboard. "We have limited time. The scouts will reach Mars' orbit in less than 4 hours. The energy shield can hold, but only briefly. We need to coordinate the human fleet with the Empire's defensive patterns." Rian exhaled sharply. "Then we make the decision. Humanity acts, not alone, but together. This is our final stand." In the vacuum of space, the first clash began. The Voidborn scouts swarmed around Mars, testing defenses. Their pulses scrambled shields, forcing the Vanguard fleet into erratic maneuvers. One scout ship, larger than the others, emitted a wave of energy that knocked several human vessels offline. Voss barked orders. "Target the lead scout. Divert power to shields. Launch countermeasures." Despite their best efforts, the Voidborn adapted instantly, dodging beams and nullifying attacks. Every human ship that tried to hit a scout became a lesson for the enemy, its movement studied, recorded, adapted to. Rian monitored the battle from Horizon. "They're learning from us faster than we can predict," he said. "We need to teach them wrong, change tactics every second, make them chase a pattern that doesn't exist." Dr. Lyon's eyes widened. "It's risky, but it could work. We need to coordinate decoys, energy flares, false formations." Jonas adjusted the simulations. "We can do it, but it'll cost some ships." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Then we make the sacrifice strategically. Humanity survives or it dies." The human fleet wove through asteroid fields near Jupiter, using the Empire's shield corridors as protection. The Voidborn scouts followed, learning, adapting, but the human maneuvers became unpredictable. Decoys exploded in controlled bursts, creating false targets, luring the scouts away from vital positions. Voss smiled grimly. "They're chasing shadows now. Every step we take, they adapt, but we're still one step ahead." Yet even as they gained an advantage, the scouts regrouped. Their intelligence was beyond human comprehension. One pulse split into multiple waves, each targeting a different tactic, forcing the humans to react faster than ever before. Back at Horizon, Rian watched the energy patterns dance on the screen. He realized the Empire's object was not just a shield, it was a guide. Its energy pulses subtly influenced the Voidborn, nudging their movements, giving humanity just enough breathing space. "We're not alone," he whispered. "The Empire isn't just observing, it's fighting with us." As the battle reached Saturn, the Voidborn scouts grew larger and more numerous. The first massive Voidborn ship emerged, a monstrous vessel, dark and rippling with energy. It absorbed the light of Saturn, pulsing like a living predator. Its sensors detected every human maneuver, every shield fluctuation, every weapon fired. Voss's voice came through the comms, tense but resolute. "All ships, engage the Empire's corridor strategy. Use every formation, every decoy, every trick we've learned. Humanity fights now, and we do it together." Human and Empire forces moved in synchrony. The massive Empire object projected energy corridors that guided human ships and trapped the scouts. Every attack became a lesson for the Voidborn, misleading, deceptive, adaptive. The fleet pushed forward. The battle was no longer survival, it was a chess match on a cosmic scale. In the middle of the chaos, Rian realized something. The Empire had given humanity one unique advantage: their unpredictability. Machines, weapons, and even scouts could learn patterns. But humans' creativity, intuition, and instinct were impossible to fully calculate. He issued orders to Project Horizon. Initiate human pattern disruption. Create false sequences, random flares, unpredictable formations. Force the Voidborn to waste energy to chase a game they cannot win. Dr. Lyon's eyes widened. "It's brilliant and insane, but it just might work." As the Voidborn fleet chased the decoys, one human ship, the Aegis, led a daring maneuver. It dove directly toward the largest scout, dodging pulses and energy beams until it reached the core of the enemy ship. A single charge, experimental, dangerous, detonated. The scout erupted in a wave of energy and the explosion propagated through nearby vessels, knocking several offline. Voss exhaled. We've bought time, but not victory. The main fleet is still coming. Rian studied the screens. Time is all we need. Humanity fights smart, the Empire protects together, we can survive this. The battle raged for hours. Voidborn ships adapted faster, learning from every decoy, every trick, but humanity learned faster. The Empire adjusted energy shields, nudged fleet positions, and subtly influenced the battlefield. Every pulse, every maneuver, every strategy combined into a single symphony of survival. Finally, the largest Voidborn vessel, the core of their scouting fleet, approached the inner planets. Its energy pulses threatened Mars, Earth, and even Venus. Rian leaned forward. This is it, humanity's final chance. If we survive, we prove ourselves. If we fail, nothing remains. Captain Voss gave the order. All ships, full synchronization. Follow Horizon's pattern. Engage decoys, mislead scouts. Collapse energy corridors and force the core into the trap near the sun. Humanity's ingenuity versus the Voidborn's intelligence. Make every move count. The fleet executed flawlessly. The Voidborn core chased the human formation, unaware that it was being guided toward the sun's gravity well. The energy corridors manipulated by the Empire amplified the effect, bending space slightly, pushing the enemy into a path of no return. As the core reached the sun, a massive detonation occurred. Energy erupted in all directions. The sun pulsed violently, trapping the Voidborn core within a gravitational web. Smaller scouts were caught in the collapse, destroyed or disabled. The solar system shook. Humans and Empire forces alike held their positions, bracing against the aftershock. When the dust settled, silence reigned. The Voidborn threat had been neutralized, at least temporarily. Humanity had survived. The Empire's object hovered near Neptune, pulsing softly. Envoy Tharian appeared in the minds of every human at Project Horizon. "Humans of Earth," Tharian said, "you have demonstrated courage, ingenuity, and adaptability. You have survived what many civilizations could not. The Empire acknowledges your place in the galaxy. Your species is no longer off-limits. You may explore, grow, and endure. But remember this, the universe is vast and challenges remain. You are now a participant, not just an observer." Rian exhaled deeply. "We did it, we survived." Dr. Lyon smiled weakly. "Barely, but we survived." Mira looked at the stars, and humanity has learned what it means to fight together, not just with weapons, but with intelligence and heart. Captain Voss and the Vanguard fleet returned to Earth orbit, battered but alive. The ships had proven humanity's resilience, but the cost was visible: damaged hulls, spent energy reserves, and crews shaken to the core. Rian met Voss as she stepped onto the observation deck. "You led humanity into history," he said. Voss shook her head. "No, humanity led itself, I just followed." Rian nodded. "We've seen what we are capable of, and now we know what the galaxy expects from us." The sun shone over the Earth, peaceful and golden, masking the horrors that had passed, but humanity had survived. For the first time, humans stood as equals alongside the Empire, fragile, yes, but resilient, dangerous, yet clever. The solar system was quiet again. The Voidborn threat had been delayed, but not gone. Humanity had learned that survival depended not on strength alone, but on unity, intelligence, and courage. Commander Rian Hale looked at the stars, knowing this was only the beginning. Beyond Neptune, beyond the Empire's watch, beyond the shadow of the Voidborn, humanity had claimed its first victory. "The universe is ours to explore," he whispered, "and we will rise." The Empire's object pulsed once more, as if acknowledging his words. Humanity had survived its first true test. The galaxy had noticed. And somewhere, far beyond the edge of the solar system, shadows moved again. But this time, humanity was ready.